Hello dear friends, now in this video we are going to learn about the peritoneum. Why this peritoneum is important? Yes, as you know, in your medicine, in your surgery department, always you see the cases of the peritonitis which presents with the guarding and the rigidity. Yes, you see the cases of the ascites, hemoperitoneum, pneumoperitoneum, for which you have to perform paracentesis abdominis. Also, you know that peritoneum is very good semi-permeable membrane. That's why this knowledge is used for the peritoneal dialysis. Also, in the pathology, in medicine, you study about the pseudomyxoma peritonei. Nowadays, the few terminology in your books are seen as primary peritoneal carcinoma. So these are the various applied part of the peritoneum. So the first question for these clinical subjects which arises in our mind, that is, what is the peritoneum? Then we will be able to understand properly these topics. So yes, we are going to talk about the peritoneum. So kindly prepare the notes along with this video. Whenever you require, just make a pause. We are going to talk about the peritoneum. As you know, this our trunk part is divided into thorax part and the abdominal part. Now this abdominal cavity is again divided into the abdominal cavity proper and the pelvic cavity. Okay, so whatever I'm telling you, kindly write down. Yes, trunk, it is divided into the two parts. What are the two parts? Thorax and abdomen. We are starting just from the basics, very easy language. Okay, so yes, what I'm telling you, the trunk is divided into thorax and the abdomen. Now this abdomen is again divided into the two parts. Yes, abdominal cavity proper, while another one is the pelvic cavity. Yes, two parts. Now see, this abdominal cavity proper is having few boundaries. Yes, this abdominal cavity is having the anterior abdominal wall and posterior abdominal wall, two walls of the abdominal cavity, anterior and the posterior. While in the same manner, few books nowadays mentioning about the lateral abdominal wall also. So yes, write down. Three walls, or you can say also two walls. What are the two or three walls? Yes, your answer is the anterior abdominal wall, posterior abdominal wall, and few books are saying about the lateral abdominal wall also. In short, the anterior abdominal wall we will write down now as a AAW, posterior abdominal wall as a PAW. Okay, so now we are going to draw this image. In linear way, to make easy, we are drawing the transverse section of the abdomen. When we will do transverse section, then anterior part is rounded while the posterior part is near about flat. So just draw the easy diagram. Yes, this is the anterior side, means anterior abdominal wall, while this is the posterior side, indicating the posterior abdominal wall. So what is happening? Within this abdominal cavity, there is the one membrane like structure is situated. Yes, inside the anterior abdominal wall as well posterior abdominal wall. Within this abdominal cavity, there is the one membrane-like structure is situated, which is known as the peritoneum. Yes, draw the diagram. We are using the blue color. Yes, this membrane-like structure lining inner side of the anterior and the posterior abdominal wall is known as, yes, peritoneum, and the cavity within this peritoneum is known as peritoneal cavity. Getting the point? Yes. Now see here, this membrane like structure is made up of the collagen, connective tissue, this all the things. Actually it is having the strength as well as elasticity. Yes, it is fibroelastic membrane like structure covering the abdominal cavity. Yes, this is known as the peritoneum. But as you know, the peritoneum is having two layers. Yes, what are the two layers of the peritoneum? One is the parietal part and another is the visceral part. So you know very well that is the parietal peritoneum and another one is the, yes, visceral peritoneum. But now we are going to understand properly what is the actually this parietal and the visceral peritoneum, for which you have to draw the next image. So draw the next image with me. Now what is happening? This is the same image. This is the anterior abdominal wall while this is the posterior abdominal wall. Now during the development, there is the development of the GIT tube from this side, and this GIT tube will migrate at the center and it will reach here. Okay, so what will happen? Finally the peritoneum will cover this structure. Yes, to getting properly in our mind, I am telling you that abdominal GIT, yes, GIT tube is developing on the posterior side and then it migrates on the center part. So what will happen finally? Yes, now draw the next image. This is the anterior abdominal wall. This is the posterior abdominal wall. GIT tube has been developed and reached to the center part. So now what is happening? The peritoneum is covering the anterior abdominal wall from all over. Then it is covering the posterior abdominal wall also. GIT tube was earlier here, but now it has been migrated to the center. So now the peritoneum will show the peritoneal attachment on the posterior side and cover the GIT tube in this manner. Then it is again attached to the attachment of the peritoneal side. So definitely you will see one terminology, that is the peritoneal attachment. Yes, this is the site of the peritoneal attachment. Yes, during this phenomena, can you see there is the formation of one fold of the peritoneum. Yes, the peritoneum is coming and they are making two just parallel layer and then covering this viscera. So this structure is known as peritoneal fold. Yes, this is the peritoneal fold. Now see, during this development there are the two equal volume cavity. Yes, both are having same shape and the same volume. We will see later about it. But in this diagram, can you see now the blue color structure, the peritoneum, now it has been divided into the two parts. Yes, can you see one part which is lining the anterior and the posterior abdominal wall, because it is peripheral in location. That's why this is known as the parietal peritoneum. Yes, this is known as the parietal peritoneum, while one part of this peritoneum is around the GIT tube or the viscera. So this is known as the visceral peritoneum. So simple. So what is the parietal peritoneum? Which covers the parietal layer of the abdominal cavity, anterior abdominal, posterior wall, abdominal wall, While what is the visceral peritoneum, which surrounds the viscera, GIT tube structures, that is the visceral peritoneum. Okay, so now we are going to learn more about this parietal and the visceral peritoneum. Then we will also see about this peritoneal fold. Okay, so one by one, prepare your notes simultaneously. We have seen that peritoneum is divided into the two parts. Yes, the parietal peritoneum, while another one is the visceral peritoneum. Now see what is happening, what are the special feature of this parietal and the visceral peritoneum. Yes, this parietal peritoneum is made up of the fibroelastic, yes, fibrous connective tissue also. That's why it is very hard. Yes, that's why it provides strength. 1, 2. Yes, it provides protection to the viscera, to the abdominal wall. Yes, you know, in the anteroabdominal there is a no bone. Which structure is responsible for the strength? Definitely parietal peritoneum. Now, what about this visceral peritoneum? Yes, this visceral peritoneum is made up of a special kind of the histological structure which is known as the mesothelium. So now we are going to see what is the mesothelium. Now first correlate with your clinical. Always you study in your medicine, in your pathology, there is the one condition known as the mesothelioma. Oma means tumor. Yes, so the mesothelioma is the tumor of the mesothelium which is related with the peritoneum. But this mesothelium is related only with the peritoneum? No. As you know from your pathology as well as the medicine, the most common site of the mesothelioma is the pleura, related with the asbestosis. Mainly the diaphragmatic surface is involved. So that mesothelioma, yes, this mesothelium is also found in the pleura. So what are the various other structure where this mesothelium is found? And the first question for the anatomy, what is the mesothelium? Just simple diagram. Yes, see here, this is the basement membrane. Yes, this is the basement membrane. Just above this basement membrane, the special kind of the epithelium is located, which is short in length, short in height, more in length, and when you will see the nucleus, they are flat and parallel to the basement membrane. Yes, parallel to the basement membrane. Such kind of the epithelium we will see in histology part, that is known as the squamous epithelium. Yes, but here these squamous epithelium are having the very beautiful property of the secretion of thin watery fluid. And you know by your histology, the thin watery fluid, they are also known as the serous secretion. Yes, what I'm telling you, serous secretion. So the special kind of the squamous epithelium which is having the property of the serous secretion, these are known as mesothelium. Yes, you can write down what is the mesothelium. The squamous epithelium having the property of the serous secretion is known as the mesothelium. Now correlate with your clinical that this mesothelium results in the tumor. Yes, tumor chapter, neoplasia chapter, which is known as the mesothelioma. This is for your clinical. And you know the most common site of the mesothelioma is the pleura. So the question, what are the various sites where this mesothelium is present? Yes, now see, this mesothelium is present at few sites. This mesothelium is present at few sites. First, peritoneum. Second, pleura. Third, pericardium. And whenever you will read this mesothelium, such kind of the condition, always remember there will be the two layer: parietal peritoneum, visceral peritoneum; parietal pleura, visceral pleura; parietal pericardium, visceral pericardium. So these all will be the condition. Okay, so now see what is happening. These are the various sites of the mesothelium where there may be the chances of the mesothelioma, but the most common site is the pleura. You have to remember. So again, come to this visceral peritoneum. This visceral peritoneum is having the function of the serous secretion which provides the GIT as lubrication. So it is responsible for the lubrication which help in the peristalsis of GIT. Now later we will see that this parietal peritoneum is developing. In the embryology part, we will see this parietal peritoneum develops from the somatopleuric layer of lateral plate mesoderm. Yes, it develops from the lateral plate mesoderm, and we will see that the lateral plate, the structure which develops from the lateral plate mesoderm, they are supplied by the somatic nerve. Yes, they receives innervation by the somatic nerve. Yes, and the somatic nerve are the pain sensitive nerves. That's why again come to the clinical, that always parietal peritoneum as well as the parietal pericardium, parietal pleura, these all are the pain sensitive because these all are supplied by the somatic nerve, because they are getting development from the somatopleuric layer of the lateral plate mesoderm. We will see in the embryology again this part. Okay, while again come to the same thing, this visceral peritoneum. Yes, this visceral peritoneum, it develops from the splanchno-pleuric layer of lateral plate mesoderm, and we will see that structures which are getting development from the lateral plate mesoderm, they gets innervation from the autonomic nerve. Yes, these are getting innervation from the autonomic nerve, and you know very well that autonomic nerves are pain insensitive, painless. Yes, these are painless. So this is your MCQ, useful for your clinical. Always the visceral peritoneum as well as visceral pleura, visceral pericardium, these all are the pain insensitive or painless. Why? Because they are supplied by the autonomic nerve. Why they are getting autonomic nerve supply? Because they are developing from the splanchno-pleuric layer of the lateral plate mesoderm. And what is this? We will see in our embryology portion. Okay, so this is about the parietal and the visceral peritoneum basic concepts. Now again come to the next. We have seen that abdominal cavity is having anterior abdominal wall and posterior abdominal wall, and the GIT tube has been reached at the center, and the peritoneum is covering on the lateral, on the inner side of the anterior abdominal wall and posterior abdominal wall, and at site of the peritoneal attachment it forms folds which surrounds the GIT viscera. Okay, so there is the formation of the two equal volume cavity on each side of the GIT tube. So this is the peritoneal fold. See here, again correlating with the surgery, that later we will study here there is the development of the aorta. Diagrammatic presentation. This is the aorta. Aorta sends branches. Yes, it is sending the branch to the GIT tube. Yes, this is the branches of the aorta. Arteries, we will read later that the three parts of the gut, foregut, midgut, hindgut, which are supplied by the ventral branches of the abdominal aorta, celiac trunk, supramesenteric artery and inframesenteric artery, we will see. But remember, various branches supplying to the GIT, they runs within this fold of the peritoneum. Yes, what you have to see, these are the fold of peritoneum, okay, with blood vessels. Okay, so now again come to this important clinical point. You know, in the our clinical surgery medicine, we read about the one structure, that is the volvulus. Yes, what is the volvulus? Abnormal rotation of GIT. This is the one important topic for your clinical. Volvulus is the abnormal rotation of the GIT, abnormal twisting of the GIT, which results in the intestinal obstruction. So in case of that, if the GIT tube will rotate, the fold of the peritoneum will also get rotated, and when the peritoneal fold will get rotation, then the blood vessel, it will also get rotated. So when the blood vessel is getting rotation, the lumen inside the blood vessel, it will get blocked. So there will be the ischemia. Now correlate this topic with your pathology. In pathology, you study the gangrene, two types of the gangrene. Yes, dry gangrene and the wet gangrene. In that chapter, you study that wet gangrene is found in GIT. Yes, correlate surgery, volvulus, correlate the pathology, wet gangrene with the anatomy, with the peritoneum. Yes, if there is the rotation, then blockage of this blood vessels, that will create the ischemia, that will create the wet gangrene. So correlate this all the topics. Okay. So now you are having the better understanding why in case of the volvulus there is the development of the ischemia and the wet gangrene. Now again come to the next part, that we are going to talk about this peritoneal fold. Yes, fold of the peritoneum. There are various terminology for the folds of the peritoneum. Folds of peritoneum. Yes. In case of the stomach, this fold of the peritoneum is known as omentum. The big one is known as greater omentum, and a small one is known as lesser omentum. So omentum is nothing. Omentum is nothing. What is the omentum? Yes, the greater omentum, lesser omentum, these all are nothing. These are the fold of the peritoneum. The peritoneum was coming and making the two parallel layer. That is the fold of the peritoneum. In stomach, this fold of the peritoneum is known as the omentum. Greater omentum, lesser omentum. Yes, this omentum at few sites known as the meso. Okay, especially in case of the small intestine. Yes, intestine. So in the intestine, yes, as you know, the intestine is known as the entry. So in this intestine, this fold of the peritoneum is known as the mesentery. If this fold of the peritoneum is attached with the colon, then it will be known as the, yes, mesocolon. If this fold of the peritoneum is attached with the appendix, then it will be known as the mesoappendix. So these are the various terminology. So whenever you will study about the meso, then remember this meso is nothing but this meso is the fold of the peritoneum. Now one update. Yes, what I'm telling you, do you remember the largest organ in our body? Yes, answer is the skin. Now one update for you. As you know, the largest organ in our body is the skin. Yes, but few years back, the mesentery has been told as a 79th organ of our body. Yes, because this mesentery, this peritoneum, it is having the separate function, special structure. They are consisting of the lymphocyte participation in the immunity, and also whenever there is the fold of the peritoneum, they will provide the movement, peristalsis. That's why now they are declared as the one of the organ. Yes, this mesentery, this peritoneum, mesentery. Now in the same way, recently another structure has been declared as the organ, that is the interstitium. What is the interstitium? Yes, space between the two cells. The space between the two cells is known as the interstitium. So just see this update. This interstitium is very small, but in our body there are large amount of the cells, and between the each cells there is the presence of this interstitium. Yes, between these cells there is a presence of the interstitium. If you will add all the interstitium volume, it will be create the largest volume of the body. So now the largest organ of the body, no, not skin, but interstitium became the largest organ, and second answer is the skin. So after this update, again come to the topic of the anatomy. Yes, here we are going to see the meso. Yes, mesentery means fold of the peritoneum attached with the intestine. Yes, mesocolon, which is attached with the colon, the fold of the peritoneum. Mesoappendix, which is attached with the appendix, the fold of peritoneum attached with the appendix, that is the mesoappendix. Sometimes this fold of the peritoneum, they are also known as ligaments. Yes, as you know, in our abdomen, when we will study the embryological development of the peritoneum, when we will study about the detail of the peritoneum, then we will see the various ligament of the abdomen, like the gastrosplenic ligament, like the lino-renal ligaments. These all are nothing. They are just fold of the peritoneum. The fold of the peritoneum, which is located between the gastro, means stomach, and the spleen, that is the gastrosplenic ligament. Again, it is nothing, just fold of the peritoneum. Lino means spleen, and renal means kidney. So the fold of the peritoneum between spleen and the kidney is again, that is the fold of the peritoneum, that is the ligament. So these ligaments of the abdomen, most commonly they are the fold of the peritoneum. So this is another thing. Now another important fact which you have to remember for the peritoneum, that is the organ who are surrounded by the peritoneum and the organ who are not surrounded by the peritoneum. So for this concept, try to understand the topic of the zygosis. Yes, this was the abdominal wall, and here was the GIT tube at the center, and the peritoneum is covering in this way. So it has been divided into the two layers, parietal and the visceral. Now what happens, there is the rotation of the GIT. Suppose this GIT tube which is in the center, now it is rotating on this side. So what will happen? Yes, now draw the next diagram. Now the GIT tube has been replaced at this side. So this is the lining of the peritoneum. This is the site for the peritoneal attachment. Now it is covering the GIT tube here in this way. Getting the point? Now see here, few organs are rotating more. So what will happen? Yes. Now few viscera, not all the viscera, but few viscera, they reaches near the posterior abdominal wall. So what the peritoneum will do? Yes, now the peritoneum is covering the anterior abdominal wall, posterior abdominal wall, and these viscera are going behind the peritoneum. So can you see, this part of the GIT tube is within the peritoneum, visceral peritoneum. So these organs are known as intraperitoneal organs, while the viscera which are located behind the peritoneum, you can see the image, so such kind of the viscera are known as retroperitoneal organ. Yes, important. These retroperitoneal structures, retroperitoneal organs are important. Again, what is the retroperitoneal structures? Which are located behind the peritoneum. Whenever there is a term retro, means behind the peritoneum, they are known as retroperitoneal organ. So again, next important thing for you, that retroperitoneal organ, what are the various structures which are located behind the peritoneum. So this is important for you for your clinical purpose. Why? Again, come to the clinical part. In your surgery department, in your medicine department, you go to the ward and you see that any patient is falling on the forward side on the bed, he is falling on the ventral part. Okay, and on history taking, you are asking the patient, he is saying that he is having the history of the chronic alcoholism, and any patient is presenting with this. Why? You know, the chronic alcoholism, it is one of the cause of the acute pancreatitis, and the pain of the acute pancreatitis is felt on the back side. Why? There in your clinical books it is written, because the pancreas is retroperitoneal organ. What is the retroperitoneum? Which is situated behind. Yes, the pancreas is retroperitoneal structure situated behind the peritoneum, so it is near the posterior abdominal wall. That's why the pain is always felt on the posterior abdominal wall. That's why patient lean forward, and this sign is known as Mohammedan prayer sign or frog sitting position, because that patient just mimics like the condition situation where the Mohammedan people are doing prayer, and otherwise the frog is sitting on the bed. In this clinical way you have to study. Again, come to the anatomy. What you have to know, that this viscera are retroperitoneal. So whatever the structure who are retroperitoneal, always the pain on back. So this is for your clinical. So now, what are the structure who are the retroperitoneal? Definitely your one answer is the pancreas, and another very most important, kidney. You know, in your physiology practical, the kidney is palpated with the bimanual palpation, anatomy correlation with the physiology. Okay, as well as in clinical you feel the kidney with the bimanual, one hand on the back side, and you push the kidney forward by the help of another hand, you feel the lower pole of the kidney. Why? Correlate with anatomy, because kidney is retroperitoneal on the back side, posterior abdominal wall. That's why. Okay, so if you are reading that this kidney is retroperitoneal, so definitely the structures which are related to the kidney, they are also retroperitoneal. So what are the structures which are coming in or out from the kidney? They are the vein, artery, and the ureter. You can remember by the trick VAU, just like the VAN, vein, artery, nerve in our body. You can remember the structures of the kidney, VAU. So what are the structure who are related with the kidney, as well as these are retroperitoneal? Your answer is the renal. Vein is retroperitoneal, yes. Renal. Artery is retroperitoneal, and yes, U for ureter is retroperitoneal. So are you getting any question from your clinical? Ureter. As you know, the ureter is one of the most common organ getting retroperitoneal fibrosis. Yes, what I'm telling you, you have to study in your clinical. Ureter is very common organ for the retroperitoneal fibrosis. Study in your clinical subjects. But from anatomy, you have to remember ureter is retroperitoneal viscera structure. Okay, now what are the other important structure who are retroperitoneal? One of them is duodenum. Yes, remember duodenum. except the most proximal and the most distal part, but duodenum maximum part is retroperitoneal in situation. There are other structures also, but yet we are not discussing. We will see later in the gastroabdominal part. Now again, see here the intraperitoneal organ. Yes, intraperitoneal organ, they are having the fold of the peritoneum. The intraperitoneal organ, they are having the long fold of the peritoneum. So what is the function of this intraperitoneal organ? So yes, what are the function of this intraperitoneal organ? Yes, they are mobile. Why they are mobile? Because they are having the long fold of the peritoneum. Yes, they shows they are able to do peristalsis. Yes, they are able to do peristalsis. Okay, getting the point? Because they are having the long fold, and this long fold can move. Yes, can you see this image? This is having the long fold, so this long fold can move here and there, but because it is not having the peritoneum, it is situated behind the peritoneum, so it is fixed. So what you have to remember? The retroperitoneal. What you have to remember? These retroperitoneal structures are fixed. No peristalsis. So you have to remember these facts for the anatomy. There are the few other structures who are subperitoneal, like the urinary bladder, like the vagina. Few structures are partially covered by the peritoneum, like the rectum. Okay, so we are not going to discuss this all. We are going to just concentrate two important structure, intraperitoneal and the retroperitoneal organ.